In today's video, I'm going to be showing you some movement techniques that I do in pretty much every game of Warzone and multiplayer on Call of Duty. These movement techniques have definitely helped me win more gunfight battles and also move around the map quicker. It's also allowed me to get away, which I've shown in some of my videos before. Quick ways to kind of strafe around your opponent to not get hit and make you a more difficult target to shoot. Let's get straight into it and let's show you my controller settings to begin with. So to make things easy, on screen right now, I've actually shown you a real-time graph of how my controller looks and what I'm pressing at the same time. I am using an Elite Controller Series 2. This does have 4 paddles on the back. What this does is then allow me to remap these paddles at the back to make things easy for me, such as jumping, running, changing weapons, reloading, that kind of stuff. It just makes things easy for me without having to press all these buttons or develop the claw technique, which I wouldn't really advise to most players. This in mind, this is doable, what I'm going to show you, on a regular PlayStation or Xbox controller, but it will be just slightly different hand movements than what I'm doing, as well as it could take a little bit more time to master, but don't let that discourage you. With that, let me just quickly show you, I do have a video, a full in-depth video about my controller Elite settings and mappings and all this different stuff on my channel already, so there will be a little link in the description and also in the top right corner right now. But here we've got the button layout preset. From default, I changed this to tactical. That will allow me to use my right thumbstick, not have to move my thumb away from the thumbstick, and that's what's important when it comes to this right here. If I have less time off the thumbstick, that means I have more time aiming towards the opponent, and that's exactly what we need. So changing that from B to a right stick in definitely does help, especially when it comes to slide cancelling and stuff, but I'll get into that in just a second. Everything else is pretty much the same, 6.7.7. I've come down here now. Obviously, there's a few things right here that you can change up. You have tap as slide behavior, and you also have automatic tactical sprint as well. So with this here, automatic tactical sprint is a new one for me. I'm very used to disabled because I have run as a key map on the back of my controller. So if I just click that, you can see in the bottom left hand side that the left stick is actually being clicked in. So it's like, it's pretty easy for me just to double tap this to get into automatic tactical sprint, and it's kind of like more of a muscle memory thing. But for this purpose and for the majority of people, automatic tactical sprint is definitely the way to go, especially for a few things that I'm going to be showing you. With this in mind, everything else is pretty much left here. I am on PC, so I am using my field of view just slightly higher, so things are going to seem a little bit quicker than if you are on console yourself. So let's get into the first thing right here, which is of course slide cancelling. Now, slide cancelling here with the automatic tactical sprint will result in you basically cancelling your slide, and it's as simple as that. To be fair, you're running across, you click the right stick into slide, and what before that ends, you want to cancel it in order to get on your feet again. This is generally important because if you're sliding, you'll continue to crouch if you've not pressed anything, and then you move slower. It is highly one of my most recommended moves to be doing in this game, as it's gotten me out of a lot of different situations using this technique. Honestly, it's the one that I use to get away from people. If people are shooting at me, I'm strafing, I'm going down all the time. I'm kind of like doing different stuff to try and get away from people. For the longest of times, I was doing it slightly wrong, and I keep seeing people doing it slightly wrong, because in slide cancel, of course, you would think that you would run along, you would press the right stick in to slide, and then you press right stick in to cancel it. That does work, as I've just shown you in that example right there, but you've got to be very good with the timing. You've got to be very good with the timing, and when you're being shot, you're not always going to be the best at shooting. It's actually, I'm not actually the best at doing it at the timing side of things, and I only just managed to do it there by accident. Yeah, I can't even do it myself, but it's just as you finish that slide right there, you got to press the right stick in again to get going again. Now, we don't want that. We want to have it a little bit shorter. We want to kind of not slide as long, and we want to be a bit quicker with this. So as you're going along, instead of pressing it twice, which actually, if you mess up, you will continue to crouch, you press it once, and then you press it 2 more times. So in total, you're pressing it 3 times. Quite quick succession, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. You're essentially pressing it for 1 and then 0.5, okay? So it's like boom, 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 boom. It sounds weird, me doing that in all honesty, but if you can get that tempo in your head, boom, 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 sick, right? So that's slide cancelling. That's the easiest way I've seen to do it. Of course, you can slide cancel and jump up, but that kind of leaves you exposed just for a split second there, because if an enemy is pointing a gun at you and you're jumping, your position is always going to be where you're going to land. You cannot move your position in mid-air. You only have to fall in order to change direction, and that's pretty difficult when you're getting shot at, because if you're getting shot at and then you jump up, you're landing somewhere and they know where you're gonna land if you're up against a seasoned player. For majority stake, just stick to the free tap slide cancel. Very good maneuver, very quick maneuvering around the actual map as well. It's best thing to do. With this next one, it's probably going to seem like a step back, in all honesty. I'm going to actually turn off automatic sprint because I'm not as used to doing this with it on. Now, I will say with the automatic tactical sprint, the downfall of this is shotguns. If you're using a shotgun, to get that down in time to shoot, it's going to be slightly delayed than if you're just doing a regular sprint like this. Yeah, so that is the downfall of having automatic tactical sprint on. So I've turned it off for this, and it's going to seem a little bit more simpler than the actual slide cancelling side of things. And now let me just explain. And it's very silly, but if you're running across here, you want to jump ADS and fire at a person there, brilliant. Absolute one of my best ones that I continuously use in majority of the maps. Let's say someone's here and they're holding this corner. You know there are. Maybe it's inside of a building, inside of Warzone, or maybe it's inside a gunfight and someone's pinged them. You know where this person is. Okay, and they're holding this corner. They can hear you already. So they're going to hold the corner pretty tightly. They're not going to be over here aiming at this wall, are they? They're just not. They're going to be holding this corner fairly tightly. If they've got aim assist on, yeah, it will kind of follow you a little bit, but not enough time in order to shoot them before you shoot them. Okay, so shoot you before you shoot them. There we go. So, with this in mind, if a person's here, crouched down, or stood up, or in prone, whatever it is, holding this corner, waiting for you to come around there. If you come around this corner, let's say, you run and you're ADSing around this corner, very simply, you're going to get shot, because then you're trying to find where they are. And look at this whole entire view. You got to go around to see where they are before you get to this point. Okay, even crouching. Okay. It's very slow. You're probably going to get shot. Even if you slide, it's not bad. Sliding's not actually that bad to use, but I like to jump around corners. Now, if you jump, boom, you're already out of this space here that he was initially watching. Okay, you're already outside of this view, so they've got to make a movement before they're going to get on target. And at the same time, as you're jumping, you move across. Your movement is your looking. So, you run across, you jump, then you turn, okay? Run, jump, turn, ADS, okay? The reason why you don't ADS beforehand is because it's going to be slower if you've got your ADS speed lower. So you run, turn, you're looking across. It's very quick, it's very subtle. But as you're running and turning, you're already scanning that area. And you're distancing yourself from that position that he was looking in order to give you that extra split second for that easy fight. Now, experienced players will be quick at this and have a field of view, so they can just quickly see it, and it'd be all pretty much simple as that. I'm wondering why I keep switching my weapon. That's why, because I've actually run out of bullets. Let's change it. Now, of course, to some people out there, that probably seem very simple. So let me kind of make it more hard, more challenging for you. And that's something called bunny hopping. When you're running around this corner and you're jumping, you want to continuously press jump in order to make that extra hop. Instead of being here, where this T is, where that grass is, let's see if we can get a little bit further. Of course, that was a little bit poor, but already we've made some distance there. You can generally build up some momentum, some speed with this, if done correctly. Boom, perfect. With this, I've able to gain another jump, and that was pretty seamless. This is especially important when coming around tight corners like this. So let's say you're at these stairs here, you're looking down, but instead of walking down these stairs to try and kill them, you want to try and get behind this cover down here. So you jump, and then you basically double jump in order to get behind there. Let me just show you that by just jumping. So run, jump, you're still here and you still walk across. Pretty slow, right? So let's double jump this. Let's double bunny hop this. Boom. Keep jumping and you're already behind there. That's obviously a lot quicker and you're going to gain a little bit more momentum, especially if you've practiced a little bit more. So the way you do it, simple as always, you run, you jump, you turn, and then you keep jumping. You keep pressing that A. Once you get a little bit better with it, you can just automatically do it. You already know the sequence, but it's essentially just as you land, you press jump again, and you're essentially seamlessly jumping. Okay? Boom. Simple as that. That is the bunny hop, or extended bunny hop as I like to call it, and I think it's a very powerful maneuver, especially when coming down these corners where you need to get from one end to the other pretty quickly. Let me show you the last one that I like to use. That's a little bit more situational based. For this, it involves the same mechanic as the jump and turn. Okay, but it involves a slightly higher drop. Now, of course, in Warzone, if you're doing this in Warzone, you know if you jump from anything from 60 meters or above, you will instantly die. That's why it's important to know the map and to know the falls and jumps you're doing. So if you don't know stuff and you want to know if something's right, simply just ping and it'll tell you how far away it is. Now, of course, you're not always going to have that luxury of doing that, so just get some map knowledge underneath your brain and only do this in particular areas, or just guess it. You know, it's one of those cool things. If you pull it off, then it's all good. This is probably one of the most advanced steps of all this, and to be honest, it's something that I'm still working on myself. But as shown before, when you're bunny hopping around a corner, it is pretty decent. But when I say about gaining momentum, when you jump from a higher height, you actually gain way more momentum than before. That might be even just a little bit too high, so let's try it from a little bit lower. You actually, let's see if I can actually do this whilst I'm trying to explain what this actually is. You will actually jump, turn, and then be able to bunny hop that extra distance than usual. It's probably a good reason. See what I mean? See what I did? So I've ended up being parallel to this board right here. Now that distance there, it's pretty unique. That here is pretty far in order to move. If a person's here trying to aim at you, they've got to go a very long way in order to catch up to you. Okay? And that's how far you've made it. Let's just use it as a normal jump and sprint. Okay? Normal jump, boom. And that's how far you've actually made it as well. So that's why it's important to use that mechanic of jumping, turn, well, sprint, jump, turn mechanic in ADS, and a bunny hop or extended bunny hop for this kind of maneuver. Yes, you can probably just slightly jump it, but the more smoother it is, it's better as well. So those are my genuine moves that I use in pretty much every single Call of Duty game that I ever do. The bunny hop, the extended bunny hop as well, the slide cancel, all of these, and even the one that you use at height. That's pretty much a new one that I've recently found. Still trying to use it, still trying to be able to use it into my games without getting killed all the time, but it's definitely a fun one to use when you're trying to build up that momentum and speed. I fell over my voice and my words a little bit there. Well guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like on it. It's a bit of a more of a tip video than just to kind of show you some movement techniques that pros use and what I use in particular. And if you like it and you like what you see here on this channel, consider becoming a member. But I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye for now.